Hey YouTube, this is James the Last Heart Games. I recently picked up this copy of Mario's Picross 2 because I enjoyed the original so much. However, I have a problem. I just solved this puzzle, and now watch what happens. If I turn the game off and come back, everything's gone. So basically my game's not saving. So today, we're going to open up the cartridge and replace the saved battery. So here's my copy of Picross 2, and I went on Amazon and looked for some good options for battery replacements. This is actually what I found. The Them Toys Replacement Kit. What drew me to this is it actually comes with some of the bits and tools that you might need depending on the kind of game battery that you're replacing. It's got 10 of the CR2025 batteries with the tabs already on them. It comes with both sizes of the bits for the security screws on a lot of cartridges and a tri-wing screwdriver. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at everything inside. I needed another tri-wing screwdriver. I like how thin and narrow it is, and the handle actually has a decent texture to it for gripping. When I picked up these security bits, I was surprised about their weight. They actually have a good weight to them, and you can see that they come in both sizes. I mean, they're security bits. If you already have some, there's nothing really special about these, but if you don't have any, these things are required to open up a lot of cartridges. So let's go ahead and use one of these bits to open up the cartridge. The screw comes out, the front slides down, and then you can open everything up and expose the board. Now let's test the voltage that we're getting out of this battery. They're supposed to be around 3.3 volts. This battery is reading 0.1 volts. It is dead. Very dead. You can see here that these batteries are actually soldered onto the board. So to remove them, we actually need to desolder these two tabs. Now, the batteries that came in this kit are actually larger than the one that's soldered to the board. So to make this fit, a little later, we're going to need to trim the tabs. For now, let's set aside our new battery. So I'm going to try to remove some of the excess solder on this board so we can take the battery out a little easier. With some of that extra solder removed, I'm going to apply some heat to one of these tabs with my soldering iron and lift up with a plastic spudger. The size of the pads underneath and these tabs basically act like a heat sink, so you're going to have to be patient as you apply heat to this. And with the battery removed, I'm going to go ahead and try to clean up some of this old solder. Printed on the board are the positive and negative symbols to let you know the polarity of the battery. You want to make sure your battery is turned the right way when you install it. We can see on the battery here it has a positive for the positive side. Again, make sure these things are aligned correctly. I'm going to place the battery down so I know how much to trim off these tabs. And it looks like I only need to trim the positive side a little bit. And now we can install the new battery. I'm going to add a little fresh solder to these pads. And then we'll go ahead and try to place it down. Like I mentioned earlier, these tabs and the pads underneath act like giant heat sinks. A lot of the heat from my soldering iron is just being wicked away and not actually melting the solder. To try to combat this, I actually switched the bit that I'm using on my soldering iron. This one with a little bit more of a flat tip so I can get some more surface area. And then a little later, I actually cranked up my heat a little bit to counteract this. Normally, I solder around 350 degrees Celsius. In this case, I actually cranked it up to 400. When soldering, you want to use the lowest temperature that you can use so that you have less risk of damaging your components. In this case, I didn't want to overheat the battery and cause issues later. With the battery soldered into place, let's test the voltage on this one. A very nice 3.3. Now, we can put the cartridge back together. Let's give it a quick test to see if we can save. Okay, I solved the first puzzle again. Let's turn it off and back on. And now the game saves. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing for more.